none of the strategies I've uploaded has a single verifier result, and that's why when people have asked the questions about especially the most recent FEMA strategy on the hourly, whether those results are correct or not. And David, you might be able to help me out with this, because I think you answered the a very similar question when you posted it in the strategy section and the beta tester, where the spot where the Masons is in the Discord.
Yep.
That strategy. People were asking how it will take 2 trades, but when you turn the optimizer mode off, the stop loss and take profit will sort of follow up along with the trade itself, and it will only register as 1 trade. And I've gone back through and looked at all that manually, and I've done it on replay mode. I've also been live testing it myself. I caught those 5 wins in a row on the last bull run that you could see clearly when you turn the optimizer off that was happening in the back testing, but they were all wins for me. So I've reassured people that shouldn't be the case, and I believe you did the same. But there has still been a few questions about it. So anything else you want to touch on and why that happens, David?
No, like you said, to the trades. The only thing I can really do is point them out inside the back tester that I created by putting purple candles and things like that. Because
exactly, and that's why that's there.
Yeah, absolutely. When we're using other people's platforms, we have to build the best as possible to their constraints inside the platform. So that's why I've added those purple candles, so that you can just manually check them. It works.
And that's yeah. Sorry, David.
No, my fault. Carry on.
Oh no, I was just going to say that that's why we're very lucky to have that, because a lot of I haven't found another back tester on TradingView at all that can do anything like what the optimizer can do. It's just in a league of its own. A lot of like every other back tester, it can't pick up on those things. Like if you go through the strategies page in TradingView, almost, I'd have to say 90%, and I've looked at a lot of them, 90% of them are clear as day repainting. So you have to be really, really careful with those strategies that are just available to the community in TradingView, because it's the overwhelming majority that are completely fake results. You may as well be putting Heikenhashi candles on a DaviddTech strategy, because it's just all fake. So yeah, we're really lucky to have the verified trades, because that's showing us essentially if live trading is actually going to be working with it, or better, where it isn't going to be working with it. So I'll show you everyone, which I think I'm not going to go through and actually run these tests, because if I did, we'd be here for 3.5 days. But which is, I guess, a little bit of a hard situation in teaching it. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. Is I run through. I'll group up everything that I can see is sort of in confluence, like I was speaking about before. 2 at a time is absolutely fine. If you can sort of see, and you'll get this with experience as well, if you can see that the algorithm, like in the squeeze momentum, the first part of the main strategy, if you can see that all of the others will be affected by that, maybe you should run that first on the so that you get a result on what is working the best for all of the other numbers after it. And then it'll most likely always turn up on the algorithm that's in the default mode. But it's also sometimes for me turned up as something else. And if it does, then I would stick with that, and then two at a time, in group, like two at a time, I'd go down and test them in annealing mode and leave out any extras until after you've got a good strategy without any extras at all. And it will happen. You'll be surprised. And with the moving averages as well, I'll go through that quickly. That's actually a big part of it. So the way I optimize using moving averages is I will not use them if the strategy doesn't have them by default. I just don't see the sense. I mean, if I run a sequential test, I might add them in there and see if, and that's actually going back to the question that was asked earlier, what do I do if I get stuck? And sometimes the answer is throw in the moving averages on top if I can't get a strategy to work, because I won't generally use it if it's not there by default, because it's not the way the strategy is supposed to work. And realistically, all of the extras and confluence, that's not really the way the strategy is supposed to work either, but they're used so that the bot can understand it, so that we can make the most out of the strategy that was presented to David. Most of those strategies on YouTube, they work perfectly for the cherry pickers who are some of the time, not all of the time, but a lot of the time, when they make a YouTube video showing this magical indicator with 99% wins and all of this sort of stuff, they're going to pick a section of market that's either trending or working perfectly for whatever they're trying to show you. They won't show you the choppy parts where you're not getting where you're getting just completely chopped up and wrecked in the market, and that's what all those extras are there for, to make sure that isn't happening. And it just gives us a lot more confidence that we can leave our strategy running and we don't have to be on it all the time, or the heart rate doesn't go up when it triggers, because you've got those there as backing, so it's not just going to fall apart all of a sudden. It might limit the amount of times it takes trades. I've found that, and that's why I do this, and that's why I try and get the best possible results with the existing strategy, and then I'll move on to putting the extras in place. Because if you can get the best possible results without using them, then the results you're going to get once you start adding them in and optimizing them individually is going to be significantly improving on the main strategy itself that's already good. So yeah, that's the way I do it. Is there any questions? I know I've gone over a lot of stuff.
I'm just looking for you now.
Yeah, so if anyone has any questions, let me know.
Yeah, Mason, I have a question.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, how many drawdown means a lot to you?
Look, okay, it really depends. See, I've traded two vastly different sized portfolios. So when I started trading, I had sort of just had the car accident. I'm not going to tell you my life story, but I still own my business, my electrical company, and I didn't have a lot of money to just throw into it. So to me, then a drawdown of 25-30% was acceptable, because I was happy to take a higher risk, because I wanted to make a bit more money, and it didn't affect me as much if I lost. Say I was only trading a $500 or $1,000 algo account. 30% drawdown wouldn't be that bad if it had a really good profit factor, it had a good percent profitability. But the reason it was drawing down is because of how much potential for money making it had. So,
Yeah.
but at
Thank
the
you.
moment, I've sold the company and I've got a lot more to in my portfolio. So I will not trade anything really above like 8%, even 5%. Like I'll use the dynamic position sizing. The strategies I actually post for everyone, and that's why I always talk about it, is the fact that you can adjust your position sizing and your leverage to fit your needs. Like everything else in the strategy is going to be changing where you're taking your entries and exits. That your position sizing and how much you're willing to risk is completely up to you. Like 30% drawdown is still a little bit high, I think, for anyone. In my opinion, I think under 20%, anything under 20%, you're good to go. That's just me personally. I can't. It's just not feasible for me to risk that amount when it's thousands of dollars and stuff like that with it in a single trade. It's not worth it. But when I traded a smaller account, or if I'm doing a challenge account, I'm completely happy to run something with a 20% drawdown, as long as it's got those other, those other aspects where there's that potential for so much more net profit, and you're making more money quicker. It is just so much more important to be making a lot more money quicker, and you're sort of happy to risk a little bit more, and you have to be if you want to get anywhere in trading. You have to be happy to risk a little bit more if you've got a smaller account size, and I believe it's sort of set up that way. You have to use more leverage. You have to like billionaires, they can just place a spot buy and be happy to be down millions, and if they make 10% in the year, that's millions of dollars, stuff everyone else could live the rest of their lives and retire on. But it's just the way that trading works, unfortunately, is that the majority of us have to leverage our accounts and risk more to make more. But that's what all these strategies are about, is they're about being able to do our best to dictate the results we're going to get back and beat that system that's out to take our money.
Yes.
So I hope that answered your question.
Yeah, it is the answer. Yeah, David, how about you? Like, what's the
and feel free to ask for multiple opinions as well. I meant that. Yeah.
No. I tend to have the same sort of opinion as Mason. Depends on your personal. It's more of a personal question than. It depends, like you said, it depends on your circumstances. It depends on how much you've got to put in, how much you want to. Well, nobody really wants to lose, but are happy to lose. If you've got a huge account and you've obviously you don't want your drawdown's going to be so much more than if you're on a challenge account, like Mason said. So, I said, very much like Kevin Davey said last week, and I've said since the beginning of DaviddTech, you have to be happy with your trading strategy, and because otherwise you're just going to turn it on and off all the time, and you're just going to lose money like there's no tomorrow, because you'll be turning it on when it's going down and turning it off when it's going up. So you have to feel happy with the amount of drawdown personally yourself. In my videos, when I'm on my videos, I always say the videos generally when it hits about the 20%, the same amount with leverage, 20%, I always say at the end of my video, okay, this trading strategy has a bit of a lower Sharpe ratio than I would like, and the drawdown is generally a bit too much for me at 25%, so I will continue optimizing this one because same as Mason, my personal portfolio, I've been quite happy at the moment. It's growing, so I don't want it to go down too much. So I obviously am trying to find more robust and less risky trading strategies for myself.
And there's also, you know, there's a few members on the Discord that are in the same boat, and you know, a guy messaged me recently. I'm not sure if he's watching the stream at the moment, but he's a doctor, and he's got quite a substantial portfolio, and he asked sort of the same question. He's looking for different ways of managing risk. And that's another thing I wanted to. It's actually a question that I'm going to ask during my live stream to David. What is your? Why do you like dynamic leverage so much, and what do you get out of it? Because I know that's the way all of the newer strategies are set to default. That's not something I've played around with a lot. It's not something I've got a lot of experience with. When you're setting up your trading strategies, what are you using that for essentially? Because I know how it works, I just don't know what benefits over just lowering, say, adjusting your leverage manually or adjusting dynamic position sizing. Position sizings means a lot to me, but the leverage, if you could.
Okay, so was it the
Just
dynamic
put your take
leverage
on
or
that.
the dynamic position?
Yeah,
Because
I will. I mean, feel free to go over both, but I was going to go over the dynamic position sizing because I'm in love with that. But
yeah,
yeah, dynamic leverage.
Dynamic leverage was suggested by a guy inside of Discord. All it does, it really very much is more for. I use it for things like you said, more of a challenge account where I'm happy to use higher leverage and I wouldn't risk liquidation because of the fees, but getting closer to that liquidation mark where I'm using a larger amount of my portfolio and using higher leverage where it's possible and lower leverage where obviously it's not because the stop loss is bigger. It's quite good with things like an ATR because you can limit inside the DaviddTech using the maximum amount of stop loss, but you can't using the ATR, for example, set a percentage. Well, it's not a percentage; it's not a fixed amount, so you never really know how much your stop loss is going to be before going in. And thanks to that calculation, it can calculate your maximum amount of leverage that you can use. And like I said, for a smaller account who's happy to risk a larger amount of that small account, sometimes I use a small amount of my portfolio and put it into a sub account, and I'm happy to lose pretty much all of that for the testing purposes, or because I feel confident in like the market was the past couple of days, been very bullish. I could turn on an indicator or a strategy that I know works well in the bullish periods. And I feel confident running that to build that position up. So that's where I'd use it. It works well with things like ATRs and things like that, where you can't really work out what your leverage should be in advance.
Yeah, no, that makes. And is that sort of working off of a similar basis to Johnny's that kite portfolio?
Absolutely, his calculator.
Yeah, kite's calculator. Yeah, because that's brilliant.
It works exactly the same way.
I found exactly the same. Okay, that's excellent. And are you able to use dynamic position sizing and leverage at the same time, or are they counterintuitive?
Good question. You can activate both of them because one's literally working out the margin that you're adding from your account, and then your leverage will be put on top before. Does it make a lot more risky?
So actually,
maybe.
yeah.
I'm not
So
sure.
actually, would that make so? n- Oh yeah, so it was actually Rambo 881. Yeah, that's what I was speaking about earlier. Anyway, so
Something to
lost
test.
my train
Something to
of thought
test.
there for a
No, it's no
second.
problem. It's
Yeah.
can you mix the two together? I think it's something that needs to be tested. It's something that I haven't got on any of my live strategies. Both of them at the same time. To be honest, I love, like you said, the dynamic position for my my larger accounts that I have. The strategies that I've tested for a long time. I like the dynamic position as well. That works very well on some of the strategies. The dynamic leverage, like I said, I've tested on a couple of smaller accounts, and I like that as well. The guy who was in here quite often, but in January, I don't know if he's still in here, maybe not today. He absolutely loved the idea and used it in all of his trading strategies. Yeah, it really
Yeah.
depends the size of the account.
Excellent. What I was going to say before I lost my train of thought was so the dynamic leverage, if you use that, say, with dynamic position sizing or risk, so that's the way. Would we be able to work it out so that it is calculating it exactly like the kite calculator then, not just the leverage but the position sizing as well?
Yeah, the position sizing works either through an ATR band. There's a video that I shared this morning about it. It allows you to work out the position size thanks to volatility in the market or volume, things like that. So that works with that using 3 bands. Sorry about that. The phone's ringing behind. Yes. So I'm not sure how well I haven't really, like I said, tested on live market anything with both of them, but it could work. Yeah. So I'm just gonna hang up the phone behind me.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mason.
No worry, mate. No worries, mate. I've just got a comment here, from Gian Calm. He's asked if I could spend a few words on the upcoming updated scalping strat. How do you plan to tame the ranging market? Limit drawdowns. I understand it's the weakest. Okay, so that's essentially the why I've given David the updated LSMAs in confluence with the super trends, and I've obviously used the same calculations that I've used my Python reversion technique to essentially create multiple bands, multiple LSMA lines, as well as I've used those same calculations in the settings of the trend, the super trend as well, to give us a much more a much clearer entry and exit for our positions. And it will also, the fact that one of the trend meters, super trends, is going to be much further away from price during, and that's the thing. That's why you see a lot of people using the 200 moving average or EMA, and David does it a lot in his strategies to work out whether we're actually entering on shorts or long positions at the time. And that's essentially what this is going to be doing. So during periods of chop, you've got the 4 LSMAs, one which is the largest one, which is I believe the 94 and the 27 offset from memory. That will be the trigger. I'm not sure, David will have to touch on this in a second, how development's going with that and how if that's going to work what I've given him currently, or if he needs more, if there's another way we can work around it. I'm hopeful that it works, because it most certainly works manually. I've been able to make actually much better trades using the updated version on a much smaller time period with the updated version, even manually. It's given me it's given my mind confluence as well. So it should definitely work for the bot. But I'm just not sure. I've got no idea about coding. I wouldn't know the first thing about how it actually works and what David has to go through to actually get what I've given him to a point where we can trade it and it's working correctly. So I'll pass over to David and ask, and he can touch on the actual coding and if it's possible.
Yep, absolutely. As you know, I worked on the older version before the weekend. Unfortunately, the optimizer had quite a few problems, and I had to get back to coding back the optimizer, as you saw, because of wanted to update that. So I got it a bit later than I wanted to, but I will be coding throughout the weekend on it to do it as Monday's trading strategy. But from the visual parts and everything that you sent me, it does look a lot better. And yeah, like I said, I will be coding it over the weekend, and I'll give you the results as soon as possible, Mason.
Yeah, I've actually been sent a lot of positive testimonials about it.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, they look good.
So just let me have a sip of water quickly.
Yeah, I saw the feedback everybody's been giving you, and it looks absolutely brilliant. So it'll be my priority this weekend.
Yeah, there's this one guy who's been direct messaging me with all of his wins on it, and he's been trading it manually a lot more than I have even, and he's been picking out through the scanner, the coin scanner on TradingView, the most volatile currency of the day.
Okay.
And he's been working it out based on when an altcoin is over, I think, 6% volatility. That's when he's jumped on, he's had multiple screens up at once, and he's taking those entries with, I think it was, instead of using a risk to reward or even using the trigger as a take profit, he's simply used a fixed stop loss to the closest super trend, like I said, but then he's used a 3-to-1 risk to reward essentially as a fixed profit percent. I mean, it's not really relevant when trading manually. It's you use a risk to reward, but yeah. So 3-to-1, and he's been winning well over 80% of trades, which is amazing. I mean, personally, I like to let them go a little bit longer because although I've had a few more losses than he has, I've also had a lot that have just kept going and going and going to the point where I'm, one trade I had with it was a 56-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is just insane on the 1 minute time frame as well. Oh, sorry, no, the 2 minute time frame, that was on OP. And Gala works really well. Like, it's mainly the very volatile coins that it works exceptionally well on. But I suppose that's dependent. I think when it's released, whenever that may be, I will be optimizing quite a few different scalping strategies around it. I found that it even works well on higher time frames, as high as 4 hours. It seems to just follow along beautifully. Obviously, you're going to have to lower your leverage a lot. Your risk to reward won't be nearly as high. It'll mean a higher stop loss, but using sort of the same calculations as the Kite's position size risk to reward calculator, you can use it on any time frame from the 1 minute to the 4 hourly. So it'll be really exciting, at least for me when it's released, because I'll certainly be doing it a lot of different variations on it.
Cool. Yep, I will have it
Okay.
over to you for over the weekend. I sent it directly to you, and then you can tell me what you think and release it to your part of the community, and then as soon as it's ready, we can release it to everybody.
Yeah, no, it'll be really good. Look forward to it. Okay, back to where I was. Okay, so does anyone have any more questions about how I optimize this list specifically? Like, I've gone over how I sequentially do an optimization first, with pretty much all of the default settings active after I've changed to my preferred way of trading, which is 5% of portfolio. Even though I changed that for my own portfolio's sake, when I'm trading, I'll just take it down to the minimum of 1%. If I had an account that was, say, 10,000, I would be using it at 5%. So this is the way that I optimize it for myself as well as you guys. I'm taking the exact same positions, the exact same entries and exits. The only difference is my position sizing. So does anyone have any more questions, or they think I haven't covered anything in regards to how I go through and optimize everything section by section after that initial sequential optimization?
Hey Mason, it's Jerry here. So first off, thanks for
Jerry.
explaining everything. It's been really helpful. But what I was wondering, and I don't know if you do that specifically, but do you also optimize for longs specifically and also for shorts, so that you basically have like two strategies for either a long or a short at the same time, or do you try to combine them as much as possible?
Well, okay, so that's actually a really good question and something I probably would have forgotten to go over if you hadn't mentioned it, so thank you very much for that. Yes, I definitely do. So every time an optimization finishes, what I'll do is I'm actually going to put up a different strategy on the screen, because this will be much easier if we're not on a 5-minute time frame to discuss, and it'll give you guys a bit of visual. Try and find something in between. As you can see, I've got a few. I might do the trend follow, which I haven't posted yet, guys, but I'm not sure if I've changed this at all. I've saved CSV somewhere of the proper settings, and that was fairly good last time. Oh, those lines were just support and resistance I drew a few weeks ago. I wasn't too wrong, was I? No, that's not actually it. Damn. Maybe it was the maybe I changed it over. That was it. That's the one. Okay. So does anyone want me to post this one? Okay. What's that?
Of course we do. Of course we do.
Of course.
Yeah, no, I figured as much. I just looked at the results and I'm like, okay, I probably should post this. Now that I think of that. Oh no, wait, I've got the wrong strategy up there, idiot.
Uh,
I've got another. This is the Super FEMA, which I have posted, but there's another optimization I've got for it, which I actually was going to put in the comment section here because I told you I'd give you a good strategy. Where is it? There's another. It's a higher risk strategy, but I'm actually trading it on one of my sub accounts, which has a few $1,000s in it. And so far, I've had a few good trades on it. It's got about 65%, I think 60 to 65% win rate. About to post this section. So this is essentially, I've taken off I'm not sure if anyone saw in the general chat at one point, I took off the enable max trades and it went to like 600 and something trades without even using the deep backtester, and it was just ridiculous. So I've found a middle ground. This is my middle ground that I've ended up on. I started trading it around about here. So since then, it's won 2 times for me, and let's see if it stops us out here or not. It's a possibility actually, but anyway, it's definitely riskier than the first strategy I put up, but I mean, it's got a max drawdown of 29%. I don't believe that's how I traded it even on the challenge account. I think that's I was playing around with the dynamic position sizing. Yeah, I was. So if we, oh yeah, no, it was okay. So that was using 10% of the portfolio. That's why. I think the dynamic algo is actually not bad. You just have to take it back to 5. And you get more trades at about 21 or 20 leverage. Let's try that. And it's probably good for you guys to see as well, sort of how I am manually just changing little things up once you've actually got a strategy to see what works and what doesn't. See how, like, you've taken your drawdown there from over 30%. I'm still using the dynamic position sizing. Just from lowering the leverage, I've got more trades. The percent profitability is roughly the same. Obviously, there's less of a profit factor because the net profit's gone down a lot. But now we're really in range of a strategy that a lot of us would be willing to trade. 13.5% is certainly not a bad drawdown for the majority of people. And I think I might have been using dynamic algo 2, which does up the leverage. I mean, the max drawdown a bit more, but this took me forever because as soon as I turned this off from the one you just saw before, it went mental. And I told everyone that I was going to try and trade it to see if it was right, because if it was, we'd all be millionaires. But I gave it about 3 days, I think, if that, and it blew up the account completely. So bye-bye money. So yeah, this was my middle ground for it. I haven't played around with risk based, David. I was going to ask you to explain to actually me and everyone else how that works in comparison to the others.
Risk-based works for pretty much in the same sort of algorithm as. Have I got my mic on? I have, haven't I? Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You do. You're not talking to yourself this time. Yeah. So this is the one I was using, by the way, everyone.
Risk-based literally works out the position in comparison to the size of your stop loss. For a bigger stop loss, it will obviously reduce the risk, the amount of risk. And is that right? It works in the same way as the leverage calculator. The bigger the stop loss, the smaller amount of margin they're using, I believe, and then the other way around.
Okay. Bit of music.
Yeah, somebody's music there. Hold on, let me try and turn it off for you.
Take me back to April 15th, 2013. I was going up to Boston that day to watch the Red Sox game. We left the game a little bit early.
No, it wasn't Jack. Yes, it was. I got rid. That's it for you. Sorry about that, Jack. How about?
That's a good time. Sorry. So I didn't hear that last part that you said. Sorry, David.
No, I was just saying it works in the same sort of way as the leverage when the dynamic leverage. What it does is it works out how far the stop loss is and adapts the size of your position in comparison to stop loss. So something with a bigger stop loss will have a smaller amount of a smaller position.
Well, that might actually even be better for people with larger accounts to work in confluence with the dynamic leverage, actually, rather than the dynamic algo. That would probably be the It
was somebody with a large account.
Definitely,
Dave.
Yeah. I think I might look into that.
David, what's the difference between the risk-based options? That is, I think one is over at leverage and position size, and the other one is the one that Mason just.
Oh yeah, I'll find that.
So there are basically two.
So algo, dynamic algo 1 and dynamic algo 2, is that right?
Yeah.
No, there are two risk-based ones. So I think.
No, see on the screen now, David.
Yeah.
It's gone a bit fuzzy. Just bear me.
So there's risk-based. Okay.
I can't remember. Just bear me 2 seconds. I'm going to put it up on my chart over here so I can see it at the same time. Carry on.
That's okay. You can do that for a second, and I can go on if you want.
Yeah, carry on.
I'll do that. Yeah, okay. No worries. Does anyone have any questions in regards to anything else about how I'm optimizing the strategy? Obviously, I didn't touch on the running through all the different coin pairs. That's how I'm actually choosing my the coin pair that I'm going to be trading a particular strategy on. I might actually just reset the chart quickly, and I'll see if I can quickly run this through this smaller list of coin pairs, because before I was trying to use a much larger list, and that might have been the issue. Just wait for it to save. But yeah, some of you might even prefer trading this strategy over the other Super FEMA purely because it has so many more entries. And I mean, a 65% profitability on a 1-to-1 risk to reward long and a 1-to-1.15 short. As you can see, it makes for a good strategy. I think I was talking about it earlier. when someone was mentioning, you know, how we had an extra loss than usual. The majority of manual professional traders that have made millions and millions off the trading alone, they're when you listen to interviews and stuff that they speak about how their percent profitability when they trade is a lot of the time under 45%. Like risk management is realistically the reason, like it's, in my eyes, and clearly in some of the best traders in the world, you know, that's the biggest factor in a good trading strategy is managing your risk. Because if they can make all of this money with and they're winning less than half of their trades, it's that they've accepted in their minds that they're not going to be right even half of the time. And that's a big thing as a professional trader to actually have to get over, is that you're actually all your job is to guess which way the market is going to go and make a trade based off of that. And the best traders in the world have accepted that they're going to get it wrong more than half of the time. So I think that's what we've got to realize is with these strategies, the way they're getting it right so much of the time for a very, very you know, substantial amount of backtesting, especially if I put that into deep backtesting mode and go to the very start of Bitcoin. It's pretty impressive, and I don't think anyone could do that manually. And obviously, they're using a higher risk to reward than a 1-to-1 or 1-to-1, 1.15. That's what makes their strategies work like that at that low percent profitability. But at the same time, you know, yes, to be able to get those sort of results over the entirety of Bitcoin, and I believe if I take it off optimization mode, I think there might be in this one possibly 1 or 2 trades to verify. So just be aware of that when I post the CSV in the comments, which I'll do in a second. And then I'll run it through all the other coin pairs.
Whilst that's loading, I think it was Jerry who asked the question. Was it earlier? Yeah, Jerry.
Yeah, you're back. Great.
Yeah, Jerry. They do exactly the same thing. It's me that's overlooked something and added the 2 options that do exactly the same thing. Sometimes I take suggestions in and don't realize that I've doubled up on code, so I will remove it in the next version. Thanks for pointing it out.
Oh, all right, cool. And do we then need to use the margin in the trigger trade as well for that certain functionality? Does it work the same way as dynamic?
Yes, some of the features out of a trigger trade are made for other indicators. The ones that are made for DaviddTech, you just try to make them match up. William's releasing, I think it's about 5 or 6 videos that he's done to last night to explain everything. So that they connect absolutely perfectly, because when everything that's on the DaviddTech strategy should work perfectly fine, except for including the trailing stop loss, but it just takes a little bit of extra time and understanding to get everything to work. But William's doing the videos. I'll get him to post them as soon as possible, so that you understand how the margin works between the 2 of them.
All right, thanks.
No problem.
Okay, I was just in the middle of, I was about to give you guys a CSV to this, I assume. You might want to just be aware that there is 2 trades to verify in this one, and like it will be the first strategy that I've given out that does have even one. I mean, it's taking into account 206 trades. I also haven't been back through this one like I did the other and manually gone through, but I mean, it's got 21 wins in a row, 6 losses in a row, but it's also the same strategy that is doubling up on trades and stuff. So those 2 trades to verify could be a string of losses that is more than 6. So just be aware, because I can guarantee you when I go back through this manually like I did the other one, there will be a lot more than 206 trades in this whole strategy that actually triggered. It'll probably be more like 306, or I know even the other one had memory. It was close. It said on the deep backtesting, I think 178. It was more like 240 trades throughout the entirety of Bitcoin, but it shouldn't. It actually should have affected us in a positive way, because when I looked, all of those trades that had doubled up, they on replay mode, they hadn't come back down and whipped us out. They weren't even close, and there was a couple that had doubled up short, but the ones that doubled up long were that vastly outweighed. So realistically, on the strategy that's posted on Mason Optimization, is the results should actually be better than what they're displaying currently. Bear with me 1 second. Also, if anyone's got any other questions, now's a good time to go ahead. Okay, so that strategy in the comments is the strategy on screen at the moment. For anyone who's wondering. Okay, cool. Okay, I'll try and run this through and see if we can get the watchlist backtest. I'll be quite excited to show you all that one. Let's hope it works. I think, yep, we're good. David, you might have just saved a job for later.
Looks like it's working.
Mm.
There is a bug. You see where it goes and it says the all button that says there on the side when it pops up with all of the coin pairs. If it's
yeah.
if it's not on all, that window there by default, it will come up with an error. I did fix it, but if they've changed to where that all is, so what you have to do is just go up to the coin pair and then make sure it's selected all before running the watch list.
Oh, here.
No.
Where are you talking about?
Okay, if you go into the top left-hand corner of your screen, it says the coin pair, and you click on the coin pair.
Yeah.
If you click on that,
I'm not going to do it now because it'll stop
of
the
course,
strategy. But yeah.
Sometimes it's automatically on crypto or on crypto or forex or whatever. There, that window there. If it's not on default by all, it will cause an error.
Yeah. Okay. Perfect. No, that's good to know. I will.
It was kind of fixed.
That's probably what was happening for me last time. Then.
Yeah. Common error. Unfortunately, it was fixed, but maybe they've changed something, so it's not fixed anymore.
Well, yeah, well, either way, as long as we can get it to work, because yeah, it's I've already been able to get a couple of good strategies just from the ones I've got at the moment, just from running it through all the other coin pairs. Also, one other thing I'll mention, guys, is if you've got a strategy, and I'm about to do this after this finishes, if you've got a strategy that works very well for Bitcoin on the half an hour, on the 1 hourly, it's got a very good chance that it's going to work excellently on some of the more volatile coin pairs on a lower time frame. It always seems to work like that. And it works same vice versa if you've got a strategy that's working on a lower time frame for altcoins. It might just work, on the 15 minutes. It might just work really well, or at least get you to a nice, semi-okay equity curve that you can start optimizing it from there, rather than having to start all over by running this test on a higher time frame through all the altcoins. So if you ever want to try and find, you really like one strategy, it's worked really well for you, but you can only run it on one pair, and you want to run a couple of them at a time on different coin pairs. Maybe what ones, because I've found a lot of coin pairs actually move, and I'm sure everyone knows this, but they move together. Obviously, the market always moves at once, but I've found that a lot. There's like sections of altcoins that move together as well. So there's a section of altcoins that seem to move against Bitcoin, and the overwhelming majority that move with it. But I've got a list somewhere, but I might share it later on. Actually, in the I might put a post up with all that information if someone wants it. But I've actually gone through and created a list of which coin pairs move with each other. How much they move, I don't know. Otherwise, I'd have a lot of money right now. But yeah, they always seem to move in the same direction. Anyway, here we go. Here's that's finished now. So I've got the Excel spreadsheet. I'm gonna have to change the screen. Let me know when you can see that, guys.
We can see it.
Perfect. Okay, well, I'm just going to go through quickly and do what I would normally do, just so we have a quicker idea of what we're looking at. Now, that was another thing I was going to mention about the strategy. For some reason, it seems as though the Sharpe ratio, even on Bitcoin, is slightly below 1. Although even changing the portfolio size seems to impact the Sharpe ratio a lot. The position size, I mean. So I'm not sure. I think you said, David, and you generally use it from memory, a 10% portfolio to backtest, and you aim for a Sharpe ratio over 1.
Yeah, that's generally one approach,
Yeah. So I generally try and aim for a Sharpe ratio of over 1, or 1 around that. But I'm also using a portfolio size of 5% always, which does actually make quite a big difference on. It's not half, but it does make a big difference on the Sharpe ratio. And then when I take it down again to trade 1% of my account, the Sharpe ratio drops right off the map. But I think it's, if you can get it up around 1, it's not going to significantly impact it, as long as everything else is really good. Maybe even try and change the portfolio, the position size to 10%, like David uses as a reference. And if you're getting one at 10%, then and you're not getting it on 5 or 3 or 1, then you should still be in the clear. Correct me if you disagree, David.
No, not at all, not in the slightest. I'm lapping up all the information myself here as well. At the same
Okay,
time. Don't worry, mate.
What's that, mate?
I said I'm lapping up all the information that you're telling us as well, mate. Don't worry. If I'm silent, it's because I'm learning.
Oh no, I've learned a hell of a lot from you, so I'm very happy to return the favour if that's the case.
Oh no, it's I am definitely. I've learned lots of things. It's been brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and it's not finished in the slightest, but it certainly has been very good and informative.
No, thanks, mate. I appreciate it. I know this is a little bit annoying. Like it's time consuming somewhat to do, but I find that it is far less time consuming to do this than it is to have to then miss something or go through it again, or spend so much more time optimizing the strategy just because you couldn't see something that was right in front of your face.
Is there any chance you could send me a copy of one of them that's already formatted in the same colors and everything, exactly how to do it?
Yeah, absolutely, I can.
And what I'll do is I'll try and create a Python script or something that will automatically set all the colors for everybody.
That would be that. I should have asked you about that. That would be perfect. Also, now that we're on that subject, David, I was speaking to William about it the other day, and I want to know. So, say you've got all your settings in this sheet right here. So sometimes I'm running multiple different optimizations. Well, actually, all the time. I have about 6, 7, 10, a lot of optimizations running at the same time. So the optimizer, it's not that great at remembering every setting apart from these sheets, especially when you're testing on multiple time frames, or say you get you go through this. How do you convert all the settings that are in this, if you're running multiple settings at once, say in a sequential test, into a CSV that's going to load automatically back into your trading
all you need to do is, for instance, let's say the third row. Third row is good for you. All you do is just delete out the other rows and leave the header row and header row. Now I'm going to have to get it so it converts back into a CSV, which is, I know you can save it into a CSV file, can't you? If you just delete all of the rows.
Can you?
Yeah, I think so. You go to the top and go export.
I thought they had to be vertical.
No, it can.
I thought
you can.
No,
no,
it doesn't.
You can import them as a horizontal file. It was something that was suggested by Marco a long time ago, and it's coded in there. So you just delete all of the rows that are not that you don't want to use. Even if you leave spaces all over the place, it still will import the first row of data.
Okay, so as long as you, the first row of data. So if you go with number 7, you just delete out from 2 to, number 9, you delete out from 2 to 8, and then delete 10 to 20.
Yeah,
and it'll import.
It will import, yeah.
Okay,
will,
yep,
you
got
need
you.
to,
And you leave the top row, obviously.
yeah, leave the top row. That's the most important one
Yeah.
because it's got the header
Okay.
information. So that should import no
Excellent.
problem. You
I
will have
think.
to export as a CSV file though, as you're converting it
Okay.
into. But yeah, so that should be no problem.
Okay. So you just go up here, and export
Export and I
and
think I haven't
create
done it.
PDF,
No,
XPS. Yeah.
change file type maybe. Yeah. CSV file. There you go. Comments in it. It's fine. That's already there. So you just go save
Oh
as
yeah.
and you get it
Perfect.
all
All
done.
good. I won't do it now, but yeah, thanks for that. And yeah, of course, I'll send that. That'd be really good if we could get them coming out formatted like this, because it's just you can see straight up. You look here, bang, that's a green one. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, absolutely.
it's very
Fantastic
easy
one.
to be able to figure out what you're looking at, because you go instantly. That's bad, even if you or
I know, yeah, it's a
up
great way of looking
here,
at it.
if you're thinking of ADA, you might be looking at it going, oh, a profit factor over one, I might only have to work on that a little bit, but then you look back, it's got a sharp ratio, it's,
Yeah.
I know you could do it all without it, but it's just makes it so easy to
Much
pick
nicer
out
on
the
the
good
eye.
ones.
It's much easier. Yeah, much easier on the eye.
Yeah, it is. Anyway, so AXS looks like it's could trade really well with that. Could probably use a bit of work on the shorts, but it looks like Litecoin, Ethereum, and AX, or maybe not Ethereum. It's a little bit lower than the other two, but I suppose we'll try it on both of these. And as I said, when I find the ones I want, so I don't have to look back over it, I'll copy them into another sheet that should have copied. Copy them into another sheet like that, and then it's just easier to come back to for reference, because when I'm doing looking over Excel spreadsheets that have thousands of optimizations in them, I've generally got 50 in just my isolation spreadsheet, and then you can make charts and stuff out of it from there to get really, really in depth, but we might save that part for another time. Okay, let's test out Litecoin first and then AXS. Change the screen for you guys. I don't know if you can see that. Anyone?
Yep, we can see it. Yeah.
Yep, it looks like it, yeah. Okay. No, it's just the only reason I keep asking is because before it was showing me that you could see it from my end on Discord, but you still couldn't, so I just wanted to double check.
No problem. No problem.
Okay, so as you can see, that method works so much better than just manually changing through all of them. We've also got the option, and this would work very, very well in sequential mode, because it really doesn't spend very much time on it, each part, and a lot of the time, in a lot of cases, there's not a lot that needs to be changed if they match anyway. Once you've got a good strategy, like as you can see, you've still got a profit factor in the green 1.3, nowhere near as good as the other on Bitcoin, but you've still got a an okay strategy, not one I'd trade myself by any means yet, but it's something to work on, and it's something to that I think I could very, very easily change to a format that, I mean, let's even have a look at the one that I uploaded, which has the limited trade. It's the less risky version. See how that works. If this one already works well, and that's doesn't have as good results on, you know. And yes, what I was saying before is you can also run through everything in your watch list with a certain amount of trades. I mean, not a certain amount of trades, sorry, a certain amount of optimizations. I haven't actually done this part yet, but I would limit it to probably a couple of hundred cycles each, because I can imagine it getting halfway through and probably stopping at some point if you try and ramp it up too far. I suppose it depends on how many coin pairs you're testing it against as well. I suppose I'll do a bit of trial and error and tell you anyway, but I'd probably limit it to 200 cycles, sequential mode or something like that. I'm only taking that based off of when I test multiple timeframes. I like to limit it to a certain amount of ranges, because the results you get from that, if they're good, if you've already got a good strategy and that's what you're doing is testing it against other timeframes, if you get a better result or a result that's close to it, you know that even if you get a result that's not as good, but it is close, you've got to understand that you've optimized this strategy for a completely different time frame than what it is actually gotten a close result on. So chances are, if you optimize the strategy for that other time frame, you're going to get a much better result on that, if that makes any sense to you guys. I've done that a lot with different that's the way I've worked out which time frame to trade a strategy on, is by running that optimization method over a number of different time frames. I haven't posted any yet, but I've got some very weird time frames that I trade off of. Like, that's my time frame list. Like, as you can see, I have quite a few different custom time frames, and all of them seem to work very, very differently backtesting wise. Like the 63-minute result, I seem to get very good results on a lot of strategies. The Fibonacci levels, interestingly enough, 168-minute is so much better on almost everything in comparison to 3 hours. I know we don't trade, do a lot of algo trading, but I've noticed the ADX, Bollinger Bands, AO, that works really well using the 168 minute, but awful results on the 3 hourly. So it's that I find that interesting. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but
I was watching a
okay,
YouTuber that does the same sort of thing as you. He's always on a couple of minutes before the like the hour. He'd be on the 58 and on the 30-minute, and it kind of makes sense when you think about it. Really, it does. Yeah.
Because I suppose the aim of the higher ups, I don't know, call them whatever you want, but it's the whole smart money concept. Like,
Yep.
you know, their aim is to knock us out. So why on earth would they time things to work with the inbuilt timeframes of everything?
Absolutely. And the other way around,
Like,
if they're looking
why
to
would that? Yeah.
if they're looking to liquidate us or whatever in the other way
Mm.
around, they're going to be looking on those ones because they know we're all there. So
Exactly, and it's the same reason the high block like the live
yes,
stream yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, that's exactly what we're looking for. It's the same type of thing. Is all they're looking at is how the market makers or whomever you might say the whales are trying to take our money, and
absolutely,
I'm sure they've got all those charts and 10 times more up on their screens to
without a
tell
doubt.
them when there's enough you know, retail traders under them that they can quickly liquidate all the 25 leverage traders.
Totally, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
I'm sure exchanges do it, even though I'd say it's very illegal. It
Yeah,
should be anyway. Classified as insider trading, shouldn't it? If your own exchange is working against you.
yeah, but
No, anyway.
it's one of the
yeah. So
it's one of the marketing things of all these exchanges that they don't work against you, but that means that some of them are. So
yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's so true. If someone said, "Oh, well, yeah, we're not trying to liquidate you," that's pretty much admitting that all their
most of
mates
them
are,
are.
isn't
Yeah,
it?
absolutely.
Yeah, yeah. We're the one exchange that you can trust and not take you over. Okay. I also found that and this is in regards to what I was talking about before, testing volatility, testing higher volatility coins on a lower time frame of something that works on a higher time frame in Bitcoin. So this has worked really well on the hourly time frame Bitcoin. I just want to run something. This is my altcoin list. That's a lot of them, but I might run that whilst we talk about something else and come back to it. Just some current promos. I think I've done this earlier at some point actually, and I think the results were quite promising. I did the same with the lonesome trend. That's very, very dynamic, it seems, across a lot of different pairs. I might even be able to post 10 plus versions of the lonesome trend V4 across different coin pairs so people can have it trading you know, all together on a lower percentage, so they can, instead of risking, you know, 5% or 10% of their account on one strategy, and what it's the same sort of theory as diversification of your spot account, I suppose. If you trade 5 strategies, the same strategies across 5 coin pairs that are taking different trades, but they're the same strat, and you're using 1% of your account balance as opposed to 5, it's another way of risk management. I suppose you're still risking the same amount of your money, but the trades are going to be coming in at different times. They're going to be you might have 3 wins and 2 losses when you might have just had 1 loss if you're trading 5% on one. So for anyone who I think comments or leaves a comment getting really worried when they've had a loss, and it's not a bad thing, trust me, I've been there, but if you're getting really worried when you've had a loss or 2 losses or even 3 losses, 4 in a row, that's the point in which you need to probably start thinking, should I be trading less in my account? Because I think if you can't go to sleep at night and not worry if you've hit your maximum drawdown in the morning, then you need to reassess how much of your portfolio you're actually risking, because that percentage, that MDD, you need to be 100% comfortable looking at your entire account and going, yep, that's gone like that. That's how you need to look at it, honestly. Even though it most likely won't happen straight away, it might take a long time. It might take 6 trades to go bad. You need to be comfortable with it. Just pitch your account, say it's $1,000 or $10,000. You've got a 20% drawdown. Picture it at $8,000 and ask yourself if you'd be okay. And if the answer is yes, then you are good trading with a 20% drawdown on your back testing. And I'd probably even add another 5% to that just to be sure. But I suppose that's touching on a different subject of trading psychology and all that sort of stuff. But it's just something that I think I learnt the hard way. And there was many strategies, and I've done it so many times where I've decided to stop. 1 second, sorry. Sorry, just 1 second. I have to grab the dog.
Don't know if anybody's got any questions whilst Mason's just gone out.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. Just left the door open a crack and Rosie ran in. But yeah, I did hear that last part. Does anyone have any questions? By any chance?
Just looking in the chat, there was a couple earlier, but it doesn't seem like there's any new
Oh, that's what I
questions.
keep forgetting to do is actually look in the chat at the questions. I forgot everyone doesn't have a microphone. Apologies, guys. And yeah, William, gotcha. All good though.
Yeah, all good. All good, all good. Perfect.
What are we talking about in regards to that channel?
Sorry?
People were just asking about how to get Algo, dynamic Algo, the video. That's also, I just sending the link for them.
Oh, right. Okay. Yep.
Video
Of
better.
course. Yeah, and just make sure, guys, that with the dynamic algo, and I think what everyone was getting wrong was purely just making sure you've got USDT checked, and not default or USD in the properties section of your strategy. So I might actually. Do you want me to just quickly run over while we're waiting for this, William, and set up a dynamic position size for everyone here? I can if you'd like. Seems to be something everyone struggled with a lot.
I'm not sure that William can hear. He's William?
Yep, sorry, I was muted. Sorry, I was talking to myself there.
It seems to be the theme of the
yeah,
day.
yeah. I mean, these base bar options are I'll be on this evening, later on this evening anyway, on the live stream as well for explaining dynamic algo and in also
Oh,
in general
well,
chat. So
I'm not going to take your job away from you,
you're
so.
quite welcome to if you want. It's not a problem.
I can fire him.
No,
Well, I've just yeah, apparently. Oh, well, you can start paying me in his place if you'd like.
Absolutely.
Error. That sucks. There's that error we've all been waiting for. I suppose I could still get a hopefully a partial result from the optimizer. See if I can download those results. Although I am also running a lot of optimizations in the background, which could be the problem, guys. So apologies. So maybe I should have stopped those if it's been getting confused. Okay, well, we've got a few anyway. And yeah, David, if you do end up making the code to actually,
Yep, I think you
I
might
wonder
be on the
why
wrong
that's
screen
come out
again.
differently than
Mason, we can only
oh,
see
sorry.
your
I
screen.
I completely forgot to swap it over.
No problem, no problem.
Thank you for reminding me.
No problem, mate. It's a problem with having so many screens. Same as me.
Yeah, I know.
Without
That's
them, we're
it.
lost.
Literally, I've got literally 9 of them. It's like a
9 screens.
wall of screens in front of it. Yeah, 9 screens. They're I think 42 curved.
Nice. Very nice.
It's beautiful. It's although it does make a lot of people that come in here think I'm insane. They might be right. They may just be right. I don't know. Why do you think that's come out? Why do you think that's come out in the wrong format, David?
I have no
Like
idea.
net profit should be over here.
No
Yeah,
idea. I
that's
haven't seen that
a
before.
bit weird.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, it's strange, but it has happened to me before, and I was actually sort of hoping it would happen again to so you'd see it.
Could I ask you a
I don't
favor?
know.
Could you
There's
send me that one
probably it's
again
probably
as
just
well?
as small.
Could you send me the file so I can try and
Send you
replicate?
this.
Yeah, just the file.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah. You want me to send you the? Oh well, I'll do it right now, and because this is off of. At least we got a partial. I'll do it right now, and hopefully I've been able to, even though I don't know where anything is.
Don't worry
Hopefully
about it.
I've been able to replicate what I was saying about the lower time frame. Okay, where's net profit? Yeah, percentage, that's better. So yeah, David, just for your information, so it's on the home section, conditional formatting, color scales. We've got all these different scales. You can also go into more rules. You can change them from a 2-color scale to a 3-color scale. You can change it to data bars, icon sets. So you've also got, you can change it here to icon sets as well. So you can change it to up, down arrows of 3. So it works. They all work better and worse for different statistics. So if you want to get 33% splits, you might choose to do that, or if you want a 25% split, you'll go something with 4 different colors, or if you want to be like Telstra, you can have some bars for a 20% or a 25%. Yeah, you've got quite a few different options, and then I think you can customize them all and all the good stuff. So yeah, I just you can also go top 10 items, bottom 10%, bottom 10 items. And I like this one for some is below average and above average. So that's just your 50% mark, I suppose. But yeah, anyway.
Okay, I will
and
do my
greater.
best.
And I use this. I use this quite a lot as well. Greater than and less than. Or say if you've got you want above of your one sharp ratio. For example, you'd hit here and go greater than 1, and even if it's already color coded, you can say greater than 1 and then put a different color to that, so you can even take it down more to, if you've got a whole heap of them, you can add on to what's already there. But if it gets too messy, you just come back up here to I've got them all saved up here, but in my quick bar, but you can come back up and go clear rules, and make sure you don't say clear rules from entire sheet, or you'll wipe out everything you've just done, but you just hit clear rules from the selected cells and it'll just take it back. You can start again. But I had that problem where I was trying to delete certain things, and I ended up just deleting all my statistics, and I had to run the whole test again. That was annoying.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll give it a
Trial
go.
and
I'll see
error.
what I can do with it. Yeah. That's how we learn, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be pretty cool. Yeah, exactly. This was so much faster when I actually knew where they all were.
Had to happen in live stream. Right?
Sorry, guys. Yeah, of course it did. Of course it did. I'm not going to bother about the shorts and longs. I'm just going to do the main ones so that I don't take up a heap of time doing this. And yeah, I'll send this to you after.
Thanks, mate.
And percent profitable and profit factor. That's all I need now. I'm max drawdown. Sure. Oh, it's like muscle memory to do it for me when they're in the right order, and then now they're not. It's going back to the learning curve. I was going to ask everyone here as well. Is there any strategies that you guys would want specifically for me to optimize? Like anything that if you haven't, you like the look of the video a lot, you haven't seen many people attempted or many good optimizations, or you're struggling to optimize it yourself, I wouldn't mind a challenge. So if you've got one that you really would like to see with a good optimization on I can't promise you a specific coin pair or time frame because it doesn't really work like that in my experience. But I can definitely get you some half decent results, I hope, on I'd say almost all of the strategies. So yeah, let me know in the comments. Or
yeah, would you like me to do what's
that?
Would you like me to do a poll or a vote on it? We can do a poll
yeah,
or a vote
that'd be good actually. May as well. Yeah, you should. That'd be good. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely, the most popular is the dead
make
zone.
make sure it's the. I know, but I've been doing the most popular. I need a challenge.
Okay,
No.
I'll put it in the general chat. I'll put a poll in there and ask everybody to.
No, okay. Yeah. Okay. Perfect. That will be a good bit of fun then.
The upcoming strategy by the Mason.
I'm gonna get one. I'm gonna get ones that have been thrown in the bin now, aren't I?
Yeah.
You know what are the ones that you busted?
The graveyard.
You're gonna start giving me those yeah, the graveyard. I'm gonna get strategies from the graveyard to optimize now. Okay, that's all I'm going to do on this one. Now let's see without. Oh, that's really annoying. I'll put this down here so that I can still see it. Oh, okay, don't worry about that. Too far. Oh, God. Okay. And at least, even though I've zoomed out that far, I can still sort of tell what I'm looking at, which is another reason I do it.
Yeah.
So it looks like that one might be good, even though I can't read it. Yeah. I'll zoom in a bit more and just have a look over here, and then we'll trace it back. That might be the better option. Then no one's got any coin pair bias based on fundamentals. Well, that's good. Net profit, no. Oh, no, it's 11% up. Sharp and Sortino being NA is actually a good thing, I've found. It generally means they're too high, or there's just no trades and they're awful. So it's one or the other. Let's hope for one. No. I'll just grab a couple of them anyway. Compare. Yeah, I finally I realize how annoying this bug is now. Okay. Just have one more double check and see if anything else is not positive. Can anyone see if I've missed something that looks good to them? Actually, that's
It's a little too zoomed out on my little monitor.
oh
I'll
yeah,
see.
right. Okay, it's actually far too zoomed out for me
Okay.
actually as well. But trying to see it. But, yeah, okay, that's what we're looking
That's
at.
it, yeah.
That seems like it's got to be. all around goodness. That one, that one. Lack of trades interest. Oh, that'll be the max trades being checked. I'll might test a couple of these without it. Anyway, I'll take that and finish up here. I'll send you this sheet, David, and maybe
Thank you
test
very
a
much.
couple of these and yeah. I don't know. Might just do a bit of a general Q&A and when everyone's ready, I don't have a whole lot more to go over. I do have a few strategies that I could show people that I haven't posted yet, that are here, and post a few more CSVs in the comments. But yeah, if anyone has any more questions,
Look through
go ahead. Yeah,
the
I
chat
don't
for
have
you. There's 8 questions in this chat.
oh,
I don't know if they're questions or just William replying for you.
I completely forgot again. Okay.
Oh, Marco's got something. I can't see what
Thank you for.
some ideas. Marco's come up with
Okay.
some ideas.
Actually, yeah, I'm reading it now. Actually. There's not too many of us left now, anyway. Okay. Yep. David, what do you think about using V2 strategies now? Like, as in, is it worse via trigger trade trying to actually trade with them? Do you think we're getting realistic results on TradingView using V2 as opposed to the V4 versions and V4 Plus?
I haven't tested a V2 in a while. Give me this evening to test a strategy and I'll come back to you. I can't see that there'll be any real problems with it because they should be able to work with either percent, because I believe that the V2s were very much more static. There was less ATRs and things like that involved in them, so they should be quite easy to set up. I'll give it a go tonight and I'll get back to you.
Oh, I agree. It's actually much easier to set them up and get good
Results.
get very good results with them. But I'm more concerned about trigger trades performance, as in like we've got it down to such a fast, like millisecond trigger time.
Yep.
With trades being executed, is there much difference with the V2 strategies?
Won't really change much for trigger trade because. Sorry, Dev.
No, over to you.
Oh, okay, perfect.
No, it shouldn't make any difference. Shouldn't make any difference whatsoever. Sorry, I'm not sure what happened to William's microphone.
No.
Maybe it was just being too polite. And there shouldn't be any problems.
Yeah, yeah, well, okay. Well, I see the big extender listed there.
Yes.
Why is it listed 3 times? Does he want me to test it?
Different coin pairs, perhaps, or time frames.
4 to 4. Yeah. I'm not sure what it. I can't see the whole thing, but yeah. Well, if it's listed 4 times, I might do the bigger extender for you then, Marco.
The bigger extender was.
And I actually have had Bollinger a bit. I mean, it's in the 1, so it's and I actually haven't tried to optimize it at all. I haven't even attempted it, and not sure why, seeing as it is one of the more popular ones. What do you think? What do you think in regards to your favorite strategies, David? What do you like trading?
Personally, I like the bigger extender myself. It's been one that's been very profitable for me in the past.
Okay.
The ones that Marco has picked out, funnily enough, are are things that I've recently realised. I've noticed that a lot of Bollinger Bands strategies seem to be extremely popular on the top traders. I've been doing top trader downloads of their statistics and things like that, and I've been able to work out what some of them
Okay.
are trading. Bollinger Bands seem to be extremely popular. FVMA that we were talking about earlier seems to be an
Oh, yeah,
extremely good.
that's my best. That's my best optimization so far. Although I am learning as I'm going along, and probably getting better with it. But yeah, that's the best results I've had so far is the FVMA
Yeah.
David,
across multiple time frames. So.
yeah, you mentioned the Bollinger Band is referred to the ultimate run, right? Or just a
The
Bollinger
ultimate,
Band?
yes, yeah, the ultimate one. This is one that Marco's posted it in the
Alright,
chat
thank you.
at the side, yeah. I was just doing like some stats through things like, you can copy people's trades and things like that. I've been trying to download a bit of data to find out what people are using, and the FVMA that you were talking about a second ago actually seems to have one of the best results on a couple of the websites like 3Commas and things like that. So I'm going to be exploring that a little bit more as well.
So it'll stop working very soon then.
Yeah,
It
that's the problem,
seems to
isn't it?
be the
Yeah,
case. Like the most popular just fall off the face of the earth at one point or another. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. I'm just testing out a few of these strategies that we just got Confluence with. I might even run that.
We can see your
This
Excel spreadsheet. at the moment.
Spotify. Yeah, I'm changing it now. Change window. Just gonna double check. You can see David.
Yes, absolutely. We can see your.
Oh no, that's 45 minutes. This is one of the ones that was. This is the worst one out of the out of what we picked out. So could certainly be optimized to be a lot better. I'll try it on the. I like to do this once I've done the watch list, and if it's a different time frame, because it's in a. I didn't test it before on the hourly, so I like to go through and just have a look at the different time frames, and maybe sometimes it's something very simple like an activate max stop loss and just take your leverage up a little bit. I mean, down a little bit on a more volatile coin pair, especially if you're changing from Bitcoin. That can make all the difference in the strategy. Right now, I'm looking for enable max trades because I believe that's what's causing the 16 trades. Your boilerplate's gotten so big, David. It'd be great to have a little search bar up the top.
Yeah, I wish.
I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. Yeah.
It's that big now. It's got so many options. Spend half my time just looking for something, and I'm manually changing settings.
As you sold your company, we'll have to
Yeah,
buy
there's a few more.
TradingView.
Oh well, no worries. Let's go. Let's do it.
Okay.
I might have to earn a couple more billion, but once I'm there,
Yeah.
well, yeah. And TradingView are definitely going to ban me now.
I'm not saying it.
No, you don't have to. Okay. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything. Other than running the optimizer on multiple time frames, and obviously we've got running the optimizer on the current time frame. We spoke about that earlier. I mean on the watch list, sorry. that's probably the biggest thing to ever hit any sort of backtester. Like, you know, there's others out there, but they don't have any of these settings. Like the Optimiser's just gone above and beyond with some of the things they've brought out recently.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's
Thank you very much.
real. Whoever's the personally behind it the most, and everyone who worked on it, give yourselves a pat on the back. I'd say it's the man whose head is up here in the left hand corner.
No.
He might have something. He might have something to do with it.
No, there's a guy
So,
called
yeah,
Andre
good
here
effort.
that helped extremely a lot coding. It's been a year and a bit project, but he did a lot of it. So we thank him a lot as well, and Matt as well.
Yeah, no, perfect. Yeah, I think
That was absolutely amazing. Thank you very much.
that pretty much covers it. Yeah, I'm gonna do, as I said, I'm gonna do using that watch list a lot of strategies that will be like I was speaking about before. That are going to cover the same strategy, covering multiple coin pairs, so you can diversify your sub accounts a little bit, which I look forward to doing myself a bit actually. I'm actually hoping. I spoke to William the other day. It's not just me, but a couple of members have asked if there's a way that we can take our percent of portfolio traded down under 1 to maybe 0.5, 0.25.
2%. Oh right, okay. On Trigger Trade.
Yes, on Trigger Trade.
Yeah, absolutely. That should be something that we could do easily. I didn't realize it was limited on.
Yeah, that'd be. Yeah, because it's yeah, I have to do 1%, and it's I mean, it's fine. You can just always if that's what you want to trade, you can have less in that sub account. It's not the biggest thing to work around, but it would be good as well to just be able to have everything in the one place, I suppose.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can pretty much wrap it up now because I just realized I've got a long on sol I want to close. No, thank you guys. Thanks everyone for joining me. Thanks for bearing with me with my learning curve in when it comes to screen sharing, recording, all of that sort of stuff. It's all new to me. I did my best. So yeah, thanks for tuning in and.
Yeah, one question, Mason. One question.
Yeah, mate. Of course.
Yeah, is 5 minutes is lower time frame for you? Or
It is. Not when it comes to manual trading, but when it comes to algo trading, it most certainly is a low time frame. I think it's purely because of limited back testing results. You know, I think it's like, I keep forgetting his name. Ken or Kevin. Was it David?
Kevin Davey?
Yes.
Kevin Davey. Oh, sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, Kevin Davey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I completely. I keep blanking on his name.
No
Very
problem.
rude of me, but yes, like he was saying, when he's getting years and years worth of backtesting results from FOREX or stocks, commodities, all that sort of stuff. He's trading on hourly timeframes with his, that's a lot of what he does is hourly plus. And I know he does lower timeframes as well, but I think that's based on the fact that they've got even more data to backtest than we do here on crypto. So I think that's why we can go down to a 15-minute time frame. It's also that I think got a lot to do with spread, and FOREX has almost no spread. No fees. Like in relevance to crypto, if we use a 1 minute time frame or a 30-second time frame, we can't really aim for 0.1%. We're just going to get killed with fees. We can't. I think the lowest we really profit at is what is it, David? I think it's 8 or something almost.
7%, yeah, 0.7% is roughly where we break
Yeah,
even.
0.7%. Yeah, so that's huge to actually do on a 1 minute time frame.
It is absolutely
Unless you're going to, and that's sort of what I'm aiming to do, I suppose, with this scalping strategy, where it's following it along and only taking profit if it's breaking through. That's why I think that I'll be able to get a lot better backtesting results on a lower time frame, only because I might be using a lower time frame to get the entry and exit points, but overall there might be hundreds of bars in each trade still.
Yep. All right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean though that you can't optimize a strategy for a very low time frame and trade it like I've done it before. Optimized a strategy on a 30-second time frame on BYD. I think that's what it's called. I trade a lot of altcoins. I forget what they're all called. I think it's BY. I'll check. Anyway,
How was the result?
was that sorry?
How
Yeah,
was
this
the
one.
result?
Yeah, I back tested it. That day I only did half a day's back testing. It took me about an hour to do all the back testing. I got it really fine, and then the back testing results was about, I think, a 2.5 profit factor, lots of trades, and I ended up at the end of the day with a 1.5, and I let it go for roughly 4 to 5 hours. And then it started declining I got it far too many losses in a row and I had to jump out. So that's what I mean. Like that only lasted for 4 or 5 hours roughly. But obviously that was a very, very small time frame. But yeah, you can do that. You can optimize on an extremely low time frame for a short period of time and just let it go, and you just sitting there watching yourself enter and exit these trades, and I was getting strings of wins and a few losses, and it's actually a fun way to trade.
Okay, I'll try it out.
But you also spend about an hour to an hour back testing for 4 hours of trading.
All right.
So that was sort of more the point I was trying to get across, is that when the lower time frame you go, I think under 15 minutes, that's when you start.
Yeah.
You can't rely on the results after a certain period of time. Maybe I think 5 minutes you might get a month or maybe 2 months out of it. I think it depends on the strategy. You can't really. I can't say that for certain, but that's my experience with it anyway.
Yeah. So how's the progression of the arbitrage, David?
The arbitrage.
Stats arbitrage. Yeah.
The arbitrage. Yeah.
I haven't heard of that.
It's something very, very interesting. I've been coding arbitrage, so it takes 2 coin pairs and looks for co-integrated coins that move in exactly the same movement, and as soon as they start moving apart in a different way, you take a long on one and a short on the other, obviously minimizing your risk a little bit, because hopefully they'll come and meet in the middle in the mean. I've been building because it's in Python, because you can't do it on TradingView, because you have to pull up 2 pairs and all of that kind of thing, and it'll be particularly hard inside PineScript to connect it to bots and things like that. Whilst I'm building it, I'm building the videos at the same time, so that everybody can install it on their computers. I've been running it for a little while, and it's a bit profitable, so I have high hopes for it. What it does is it scans through every hour to find coins that are co-integrated, and then it will follow them to see if there's any movement.
So you're saying, the basis of it is that when 2 coin pairs are moving together and they pull away, that is indicating that one's now got favorage over the other, or bias over the other buyers or sellers, and then you're going to take a long off the one that pulls away long whilst the other one stays ranging, or are you saying one goes long, one goes short?
One goes long, one goes short. The
Okay.
reason being is if the one that goes short does move down to where the long is, and the long does it will you'll exit the trade in a small loss on the long and a large win on the short, covering the costs of the long. So it kind of minimizes the risk. On the backtesting results, it seems quite good. I've tried to invite a guy who's a YouTuber who's quite a specialist in this field. I'm trying to get him in to come and talk about it as well.
I mean, if he's a specialist in the field, it must have some merit to it. You don't become a specialist in a field if it doesn't work.
Oh yeah. Oh, pair trading, as they call it, is quite popular even in other fields than crypto. Arbitrage is something that's
I've never heard of it.
okay. Arbitrage
It's
is
quite popular in here in Asia.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And I've just done loads of research on it, and I've been trying to do it since about January this year, sorry. And building these Python scripts that, because it's quite a lot of heavy work behind it to go and get all of the pairs, and then it uses an indicator to find out if there's co-integration between the two.
Correlated.
Of course, yeah.
And then
definitely
it's
that
one of
would be.
those. So if you imagine a
that'd be
Bollinger
massive.
Band, for instance, if they're both sort of moving in the same way, Ethereum USDT hits the top Bollinger Band, and this is a simplified way of looking at it. It isn't the way it works in the slightest. But if Ethereum hits the top band and BTC hits the lower band, that's the point where you'd take a long on BTC and a short on Ethereum, hoping that they'd meet in the middle.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I might actually do a bit of research on that myself. It sounds
It's
very
really
very
interesting.
interesting.
It is, yeah.
How do they go about getting data, pulling that data and lining it up? Because like, would you use a logarithmic or percentage based chart, or is it a different form of data that you're trying to line it up with? Because I know when you try and line up two charts, it can be really, when people say line up the S&P and Bitcoin together and pretend that they move in sync, and it's like, no, they do not.
There's several
because it can
algorithms. There's the co-integrated. There's the Z index that helps us to define if there's arbitrage to be taken. You've also there's one that's called the co-integrated index, I think it's called, which none of them are on TradingView, unfortunately, because it's something that can't be really. It can be done, but it's a lot. It would be useless because you couldn't take the two positions at the same time and things like that. So I don't think anybody's actually bothered. There's a couple of indicators out there that actually work really well, and then afterwards we'll try some other indicators. Like I said, a Bollinger Band. There's plenty of ways of mean reverting, so we could work out which ones are co-integrated, and then once one hits the top band, one hits the lower band, although they're not the same price, the bands are there, and technically they're going to meet in the middle, not as a price, but they have the exit at the same sort of time. That's the idea.
Yeah, no, excellent. No, that sounds very interesting.
Sure.
I know you long at one pair. I mean, like one coin, and you short in another coin, right?
Yeah.
But like the ratio, how do you calculate? How you measure the ratio? Like I know they're not the same size, right?
Yeah, they're not the same size. What we do is we take inside the calculation, we take the price of Ethereum and price of BTC. You subtract them from each other, creating a spread. I think it is that's the calculation I've got, and that just creates a indicator. And then you have another indicator in Python. It's called co-integrated. It's just a library that already exists. To be honest, I haven't researched enough into what's behind that library because it already exists. But that's what's used by most coin pair traders, the co-integrated. And it works out whether there's with whether, like you said, correlation between the two. It works out whether they're moving in the same direction. And then when we use another indicator, the Z index, for instance, I think it's called. I think the Z index does exist on TradingView, and that helps us to tell us when one coin is the co-integration no longer, well, it does exist, but no longer exists on that period, and then it's when we decide to take the long and the short at the same time.
I mean, I love the way that I like using methods that aren't
Outside the
used
box.
regularly.
Yeah, outside the box. So do I.
Because I mean, that's essentially what is getting targeted. The retail traders most used.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
this one
and
is
things
not.
like the things like the RSI and stuff, it stopped working a long time ago for that.
Yeah,
I mean, it works.
Yep.
It works, but it stopped working a long time ago for that reason, because everyone was making money off of it. And
Sure.
can't go on for too long.
No, sure, absolutely. The only things that
I feel like
everything that-
ABCs have even taken a hit.
everything needs to be thought of thinking outside the box. I mean, it's like the RSI. The RSI doesn't work as the oversold and over brought, but the bigger extender works as the opposite way round. As it overextends, we take the lost percentages off of the market. That still seems to work. So
it does because it's that final pump that liquidity, you essentially working with the people who are trying to wick out the people that are
Absolutely.
trading the
that still works.
correct or the supposedly correct way.
Yeah. Sorry.
So
there's a lag again. Sorry, Mason. I didn't mean to interrupt.
yeah, no, that's okay. I was going to ask you. I'm not sure if I asked this specifically earlier, but on the breaks where it says B, if you can see on my screen right now, on this Spotify, is there a way to take it only when, like on the market cipher when you presented Spotify? And you use the data to find what level it was, or is that right?
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Could you do the same thing for the B on trendline breaks, for example? Because
I certainly can, because it is a open source code, so I will just recode the indicator so that we can detect it, no problem. Automatically, I don't know, to be honest, because I haven't had a look, but I will have a look this evening whilst I'm releasing Spotify and its updates.
No, that sounds great. Okay, well, yeah.
Thank you
again
much.
for. No, thank you for listening. Thanks for being here, David and William, and babysitting.
No, it was a pleasure. We've enjoyed it. I've learned a lot.
No, I appreciate it. Okay.
Thanks, everybody.
So I suppose that we'll wrap it up here if no one else has got any more questions.
I'm good too. Thank you very much, Mason, for everything. There was absolutely tons of people coming in and out. It was a real pleasure to sit watching and understanding your method. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. I may as well walk everyone out and stay until the last.
All right, mate. I'll cut the stream off YouTube, and I'll put the links.
That's even better.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks, mate.
Bye.
Have a good day.